Happy Friday, TCNJ. This is Zach Rice alongside Ben Bisignero, and this is LTV News, where you get the news for campus, from campus, on campus. Sickening news was received from Student Health Services on September 5th when the interim director, Holly Heller, sent out an email about an off-campus student who came down with the Neisseria meningitis. The student is thankfully reported to be alive and well. We reached out to Heller and she responded on September 10th saying that no other students have confirmed cases. Heller and TCNJ Health Services have shared some advice on how to avoid it, as well as risk factors and symptoms. TCNJ Health Services said that symptoms include a sudden fever, neck stiffness, confusion, nausea, vomiting, lethargy, and rashes. In the email, Health Services said that close contact is defined by having prolonged interaction with someone who tested positive for meningitis within 7 days of symptoms showing up. Health Services says that the disease is spread through respiratory or throat secretions like saliva, that generally it takes close or lengthy contact, such as coughing and kissing, to spread these bacteria. They advised people to 1. Cover your cough with your sleeve or a tissue, 2. To wash your hands frequently with soap and water or use an alcohol-based sanitizer, or 3. To avoid sharing drinking glasses, cigarettes, vapes, or other smoking materials, and eating utensils.
In more uplifting news, TCNJ Journalism and Professional Writing Department just had the grand opening of their new room. We are going to send it over to Zach Rice down in AIM 227 with more on that.
The Art and Interactive Multimedia Building, or the AIM Building, has been home to many creative majors for about 13 years now, and it has many creative spaces for a lot of those majors. But the journalism program has struggled to find a space. That is, until now, with AIM 227. Bouncing around from Bliss Hall with the English majors to the AIM building with all of the art and interactive multimedia majors, journalism has struggled to find a home at TCNJ. But with an alumni donation from Derek Wan, which was matched by Netflix, journalism has not only found a true home at TCNJ, but now it has state-of-the-art computers for research, televisions to keep up with world and national news, a true meeting space for the campus newspaper, The Signal, and a sense of belonging. This has been a long process, and nobody knows that better than Journalism and Professional Writing Department Chair Kathleen Weber.
In 2021, we were offered this blank room, basically, and we had a very generous donor, Derek Wan, who gave us money to fund the construction of the room. In the fall of 2022, when we had the funding, we, again, like Rich Croth and John Bannon, we set up a plan, we got on their schedule, and they worked really quickly, and they were finished most of their work by maybe spring break of the spring semester of 2023.
Weber and many others, students and staff alike, are excited for the possibilities this room has to offer for the major.
I think this room is a place that reflects, it's an opportunity for building community, right? So this is a place to hang out, but I also think it's a place that builds professional identity.
I love it. I'm so excited. It's hard finding a space on campus to vibe and study, especially around like other journalism majors. We have like a small lounge downstairs, but it's small and there's a lot of foot traffic, so I'm really excited about the potential of this space and like what we can do here. I have like my own endeavors that I'm already planning on in this room, so I'm really excited.
Even though the room just opened, you can already feel the sense of community and belonging. From AIM 227, this is Zach Rice for LTV News.
Thank you, Zach. I'm sure a lot of people are excited for the room. Speaking of changes around TCNJ, Interim President Michael Bernstein held the annual Welcome Back address on September 6th and proposed what he called differential tuition pricing and had a similar idea for housing. In his words, "We may have been leaving some money on the table here that we can use for the benefit of our students," proposing that TCNJ implements a supply and demand model of tuition pricing that puts more in demand or higher earning majors at a higher tuition rate, with the thought being that it will generate more revenue for the college, allowing it to award more scholarships to students who need it and want to join the TCNJ community. He also had the idea that followed the same line of thinking for housing at TCNJ, where lodging with better amenities should cost more than those with less to offer. In the midst of all this, he did clarify that these are just ideas. No decisions have been made. These are possible directions to frame our discussions and our decision making. We reached out to interim President Bernstein and his team for further comments, but they said that he was just in listening mode for now and would be interested in an interview in the future. Now we are going to bring it over to Matt Rose with your Lions Sports.
Hey, I'm Matt Rose for LTV Sports, and I'm here to bring you everything you need to know about the last 3 weeks of sports here on campus. Starting off with football, in a preseason poll by NJAC, TCNJ was ranked as the dark horse candidate this year to win the conference. In the first game of the season, they proved themselves a team to be reckoned with. TCNJ beat Eastern University 41-21 to start the season off with a 1-0 record for the second year in a row. And if you want to know the last time TCNJ scored 40 or more points in a game, you'd have to go back to October 29th, 2016, when they put up 42 points. The pass defense looked promising, only allowing 160 passing yards, coming away with 2 interceptions, one by Dominic Nociro and the other by Jack Young. But the absolute star of the show was none other than senior quarterback Trevor Bopp. Bopp was phenomenal in every sense of the word. He broke the school record with 405 passing yards and had a career-high 4 passing touchdowns. And if you think that wasn't enough, he even ran in a touchdown himself. And at the end of a busy week for him, Bopp earned himself NJAC Player of the Week. The TCNJ women's soccer team was picked 3rd in the NJAC preseason poll. Although they couldn't win the season opener against number 7 ranked William Smith, they've been outstanding ever since. They've shut out their last 3 opponents, winning 6-0, 4-0, and 1-0. That's a lot of zeros for the defense. In the 3 wins, 3 women have racked up 2 goals each: Ava Curtis, Sophie Vieira, and Victoria D'Imperio. After this successful week, the women's soccer team have find themselves ranked 25th in the nation. Moving to the men's side of soccer, they didn't find the success they were hoping for to start the season, so they started 0-3. But the TCNJ soccer team kept their heads up going to the weekend as they headed to New York City for the Brick City Classic. Their first game was against NYU, and it went exactly as they hoped it would, quadrupling the amount of goals they had heading into this game. Moving on to field hockey, TCNJ was ranked 2nd in the NJAC preseason poll and 11th overall in the nation. The opener didn't pan out how they wanted to, however, losing by 1 in double overtime. However, similar to the men and women's soccer teams, they bounced back, winning their next 2 games with an offensive explosion coming in the second game where they scored 7 goals. On September 9th, the men's and women's cross-country teams got ready to race against John Jay and New Jersey City. Safe to say TCNJ came ready to race as they won both for the men and women. Emily Hogler won the 5K, finishing in 20 minutes and 4 seconds, a new personal best. In fact, 13 of the top 14 finishers were TCNJ runners, completely dominating the race. For the men, Michael Rodriguez finished in the 6K race with a time of 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Once again, TCNJ dominated, finishing with top 13 runners in the race, sweeping all 15 points up for grabs. And finally, it's time to announce the winner of the best award any athlete can get, the LTV Sports Desk Certified Player of the Week. But first, we have some honorable mentions. Great job to these athletes for making TCNJ proud. But the Player of the Week has to be Trevor Bopp. He had a fantastic performance, breaking the school record for passing yards in a single game, totaled 5 touchdowns, and helped to secure the first win of the season for TCNJ football. And that's why Trevor Bopp is the LTV Sports Desk Certified Player of the Week. Before we go back to the news desk, I wanted to give a quick shout out to field hockey head coach Sharon Pfluger on winning her 650th career game on Sunday. Congratulations, coach, on all of the wins. Here's to 700. And with that, I send it back to the news desk.
We hope you have enjoyed this edition of LTV News. This has been Zach Rice and Ben Bisignero with your news and Matt Rose with your sports, representing TCNJ with pride.